Okay, we're live now and recording. If you want the camera off or anything, just put your hand up and we can put it off for any reason. But a small talk on my experience with the power of cancelling beliefs and how immensely powerful it is in clearing out stuff. I mean, for myself, it was the thing of I had so much suffering with physical symptoms personally. Gout, which is a very painful condition in the feet, asthma, which is an annoying condition where there doesn't seem to be enough oxygen around, and obviously being on a dialysis machine, I think is one of the bigger tortures you can have. It's very, very unpleasant to live on a dialysis machine every day. But this thing, I just share it because it's a thing. Actually, most of you are familiar with Dr Hawkins, and he's also a Course in Miracles teacher, and he shared his miracles just by doing the lessons every day of these illnesses. He had 20 illnesses leave him. And one of them, which really was, when I heard it from him, it was like it shifted my capacity, because I'd had the spiritual experience with him. I knew everything he said was absolute truth. I had zero doubt. But when he shared this, it was like, oh, literally, the miraculous is possible by just cancelling. Cancelling of beliefs for me is just his way of reframing Lesson 14 from A Course in Miracles, which is God did not create cancer, so it is not real. It says it quite simply. It's just not real. You hold the belief, you pick it up from the collective, you hold it on, you've got cancer. You see, it's just a level of fear and picking up a limiting belief. That's what it is, and it manifests. So his way of saying it is, I cancel my belief in, for example, cancer. I'm an infinite being subject only to what I hold in mind. But this was the one, I just wanted to share it. Because everything is possible if you let go of a belief system. And beliefs can be around money and poverty, they can be around health and conditions which seem that heavenly defended as like this one's going to be impossible. Various beliefs that could be around that, or things are going to take so much time to release, or they can be beliefs can be around family and needing them to behave a certain way, or being at the effect of that. They can be around various things. So just by often I was sharing with someone on the way to the group, if there's a specific, I think it's relevant. If there's sometimes, I would say with general spiritual work, 99% of things just clear up just doing generalized spiritual work. But I think in some cases, even if you do a lot of spiritual work, things aren't clearing up, and there's a persistent recurrence of a thing. And in those, I found just doing general spiritual work and cancelling beliefs, or God did not create kidney failure, asthma, and all of that stuff, things just cleared up. But in some instances, Hawkins described it, so you do tons of spiritual work, and something doesn't clear, it keeps coming back, and it won't leave you alone. And in that case, it's like there's a specific message, a spiritual lesson that needs to be found in this lifetime for it to abate. And you have to find that very specific message that illness is trying to teach, you see. So you have to get to the root of the lesson. So, I'm going a bit off track, but Louis, there's often a metaphor or meaning in the illness, you see. Some of the examples from Hawkins, gout. I had gout, I met him. It was quite funny, I met him, and when I first shook hands with him, I had this tingling in my toes, as he transferred his vibration. And then some years later it was gone, and I was doing the Course in everything he told me to do, Course in Miracles, 12 Steps, and his teachings as well on enlightenment. So all these things just shifted, and the vibration was transferred to me. But he said, gout is this thing of, I think it's along these lines. It's the guilt of causing pain to others. You see, that was the metaphor. So you can often do. I've often shared my anti-karma prayer that Hawkins sort of, it's not, he doesn't call it that, but you see what you've done to yourself or to others, and you just pray to God for, like for me, it would be like, I pray to God for forgiveness for the one in me who's caused pain to others, you see, and then you're sort of praying to God for forgiveness, bloody hell, the last 10 lifetimes, I was like a pain in the foot to everyone. I was a pain in the foot. I was probably treading on people's feet. I actually had one day, I'm going off on a tangent, I was on the tube. It's really funny, I was on the tube, and I was sitting there, and this man just stamped on my foot. And he did it on purpose, and he looked at me with this cunning look, he said, "Oh, sorry about that." And he just really sort of trod on it.
You have no idea why?
I have no idea why this guy on the tube just decided to, I think as I'm sharing, God's revealing a bit more of...
Sorry about that.
That's okay. God's revealing a bit more of what kind of unpleasant character I was in maybe past lives. So things can be revealed as to the metaphor and to the lesson, and you need to pray for guidance or just keep being in connection with other spiritual fellows until that route. But I would say, in my experience, most of it, if you're doing the Course in Miracles, or you're doing heavy spiritual work on a daily basis, most of it does clear, in my experience. But as Hawkins said, in some instances, there is a specific meaning that one has to get, even if you're an advanced, you think you've been doing spiritual work for a long time. And there's a recurring theme. Okay, so I think that's enough